I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Action Comics number 978. Superman continues to take a walking tour of his past and notices that things have changed. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? So, as we open up on the issue, Superman has gotten further along in his own personal history. Now he's reliving the events that took place when he first came to Metropolis. Standout moments from this era in his life are, of course, meeting Lois Lane for the very first time, saving her from one of the many times she fell off something high or was thrown, we can't be sure. It should also be very important to note right here, right now, he just so happens to be wearing red trunks. So really, love him or hate him, they're back in official canon now, and really that is the bulk of this issue, a ton of retconning. It's after that we begin to see Clark and Lois falling in love, working together at the Daily Planet, you know, stuff we've all seen before. Classic Superman stuff. But here's where things start to diverge though. Superman dies in a battle with Doomsday as he did in the storyline Superman Doomsday. A bunch of new super characters rose up to replace him, minus the Metropolis kid? Superman returned like we know he would, and having new lease on life after dying and returning, he married Lois right away. After that, he also started wearing the new 52 Superman suit, complete with dumb Jim Lee collar and armored plating. It's around this time he found out that Lois was pregnant. Wanting complete and total safety for his wife when she gave birth, Superman recruited the help of his two best friends in the world, Wonder Woman and Batman, and took them all to the Fortress of Solitude for the birthing. This moment right here wiping away the events of Convergence, where young Jonathan Kent was actually conceived under one of the domed cities. Furthermore to that, it wipes away the Wonder Woman-Superman romance. And honestly, I think we're all better for it. From there, the Clark family moves to Hamilton County, they get the farmhouse. Superman takes a short leave of absence from the Justice League, instead choosing to work from the shadows in his black suit, meaning the events of Lois and Clark, aka the book we have to thank for this current book we're reading right now, are in continuity but just a little bit different. Seeing his life laid bare in front of him actually doesn't make Superman feel all that much better. He talks it out with his little robot buddy Keelix, saying that he still feels like there's some dark force hanging over him, and he believes that force might just be Mr.OZ, the mysterious green-hooded individual who had appeared to him before in the Jeff Johns run, saying that he knew him and that his family aren't what they seem to be. It's at that point Superman gets flown back by an exterior force, crashing through the giant ice sculptures of Ma and Pa Kent from the New 52, in doing so wiping them away as well. But that's the A story. In the B story, we check back on in with the mysterious man made entirely of code who's going around and recruiting some of Superman's most deadly enemies. In this issue, he heads to the moon and wakes up the Eradicator, who very interestingly seems to know who this coded man is. They've met before. Zod perhaps? The Superman Revenge Squad is of course growing rather large now, and they're all going to need a roof to put over their heads. Where do they decide to make their new base of operation? Well, Batman's moon base, which makes a ton of sense because Tomasi is writing this one. He invented the moon base for his Batman and Robin run and used it again earlier on in Superman. And what's another great pull? It turns out Hank Henshaw is actually a member of the Superman Revenge Squad. Kinda cool that in this new DC Rebirth universe, Henshaw didn't become the cyborg Superman but still hates Superman all the same. And there you have it, everyone. Action Comics number 978, and oh boy, I hope you enjoyed this trip on the retcon train, because it didn't stop until it reached the station, did it? Overall, I think they do a pretty decent job fusing the adventures of New 52 Superman with this Superman that we've been following. Much like a lot of big continuity shakeup stories at DC right now, you can definitely feel the hand of Jeff Johns in this one, and I'm not just saying that because they clearly keep the fight with Ulysses and Oz, which is stuff that he wrote, but I mean boiling it down to what people really like about these characters, what they've been asking to see forever, and really just what will lead to some cool and interesting stories down the line. What I find just as compelling about what we do see in these retcon flashbacks, I'm equally interested in what we don't see. I already mentioned no trace of Superboy, boy. But we also see the electric blue Superman costume referenced, but not the electric red Superman costume reference. There's definitely a ton to chew on in this story, and to think it was just supposed to be a two-and-done little filler arc before we get to move on to the Superman Revenge Squad, but I feel like we're going to be talking about this issue and the events of the button from this week also for a long time. Overall, I thought it was really solid. The Superman family of books continue to be one of the most enjoyable things you can read right now on the comic shelf. I would give this one an 8 out of 10. Well, there you go everyone, another Superman book on the books. I hope you enjoyed it, and while I have your attention, why not check out some of the other videos I have on offer from the channel this week. Want to keep up to date on when the next Superman story comes out? Of course you do. Well, there's no better way to do that than to head down to the description of this very video and follow me on my social media feeds. I got Twitter, I got Facebook, I got Instagram. And if you want to catch up on this story or any comic book story in trade, there's no better way to do that than to head over to bookdepository.uk, my favorite place for buying trades. And if you use my book depository link down in the description of this very video, not only will you be getting yourself a nice little something, but you'll be helping support me and the channel too. So until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.